Hey everybody, welcome back to the Fertility Confidence Podcast. This episode is for the dudes today. We are talking about sperm count, a very popular topic over in Fertility Confidence Method and over in social is sperm count is low. What the heck do I do next? And the good news is we actually have a significant amount of research in male factor fertility and natural treatments, supplements, lifestyle changes, that nutrition things that we can do that will improve sperm count. That's backed by research, and it's also backed by clinical experience. I have seen it work time and time and time again. Now, here's the kicker. As with everything, basically, we really do need to get down to the root cause of the issue. Sometimes low sperm count is quite literally a nutrition and lifestyle problem. That as soon as we clean up those factors, count double, triples. I've seen it quadruple before. And that's all that it was. Sometimes it's genetic. Sometimes it's physical. We need to always go that one step deeper. So if you are someone who has had a poor semen analysis reading and you've done all the things the internet has told you, nothing has changed. Either you haven't gotten pregnant or you've done a retest and it hasn't shown any improvement. My quick tip to you is don't give up, don't throw in the towel. But have you actually uncovered the root cause issue? So before we go into how many tips do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4 top tips for improving sperm count. Let's actually talk about what does that next step look like? So you've got your semen analysis, sperm count is low. And when I say low, I'm talking less than 40 million per milliliter, okay? 40 million is in and around, I want to estimate the 20th percentile mark, so still not awesome. Ideally, we're in the 65, 70 million per milliliter or more from a concentration standpoint. Anything lower than that, we want to help it. But anything between 40 and 60, I'm okay, as long as all the other numbers look good. I'm not uber concerned about it. I'm not rushing people into an IUI or things like that. But if you're under 40, we definitely want to take some action. And that action, first and foremost, needs to be what is potentially driving this low count? Because simply taking CoQ10, which is what we see the majority of couples decide to do when they get a poor semen analysis, isn't actually going to make any change for you. It's going to help with motility maybe, but likely not count all that much. And if there's something physical going on, if testosterone is impacting it, if metabolic health markers are impacting it, if genetics are impacting it, CoQ10 is going to do quite literally shit for you. So let's uncover the root cause. That way, we're saving time, money, and hope on treatment strategies that might simply not work for you. So when I say further assessment, what I mean by that is first and foremost, let's do some blood work, okay? Let's look at your free and total testosterone, your estradiol, your FSH, your sex hormone binding globulin. Let's look at our basic male fertility hormone panel. Then let's also look at some metabolic health markers. Let's look at your hemoglobin A1C and your blood sugar control, your fasted insulin, your fasted glucose. Let's look at your CRP, your cholesterol, all of these things. Metabolic health is actually a really big driver for poor sperm quality and low count. So looking at how is your body handling things like lipids and blood glucose is actually really important. If you are overweight, these are things that might need to be addressed in order for you to improve your numbers. And sometimes, no, not sometimes, pretty much all the time, for men, when they actually see the numbers, it really helps them buy into the treatment plan. Dudes that are listening, can you please confirm that? Because I see it all the time. I need to see the numbers, prove to me that there's a problem, and then I will do what you say. And that's fine, okay? You need to know the proof. I'm down with that. I'm okay with it. I'll share the studies. We'll do the labs. I'll walk you through why we're doing what we're doing, and I'll walk you through how it's going to help you. And guess what? Here's the really cool part. Yes, we are improving your fertility, but we are also actually adding years on your life by improving your hormonal and metabolic health profile. We are likely reducing your risk of heart disease and heart attack and cardiovascular disease. Amazing. And we're going to make you feel better. Like, you're generally going to feel better. Most of the men that buy into their treatment plans, when their wives, partners get pregnant, one of the questions they ask me is like, should I stop taking these supplements, or like, are they helping me in other areas of life? And I'm like, oh, interesting question. Do you by chance feel better? And they're like, oh, yes, I have more energy. I am more focused at work. I'm exercising, and I've like never had the motivation to do that before. So there's a lot of, we call them side benefits or small wins when we're going through the fertility experience, that it's not just about that. We're actually improving your health long term. So let me go back to the further assessment. So those are the labs, okay? We want to look at your hormonal profile. We want to look at your metabolic health profile. We also want to review any medications that you've been taking, because there are certain medications that could reduce count. We want to review if you've had any injuries or surgeries that we should know of. We always screen for things like mumps and measles and undescended testicles as a child, because that can impact your fertility later in life. We also want to rule out varicocele, so vein dilation in the scrotum that can actually block sperm from getting in the semen. If you have poor sperm numbers on your semen analysis, one of the honestly next steps that should be taken across the board is a referral to urology. Go and have a proper physical assessment done. Make sure that there isn't something physical going on in there. In fact, I've had not one, but two couples actually find testicular cancer early on enough to be able to get treatment done, and they're both healthy and well now. But if they hadn't actually taken their semen analysis seriously and gone and had a proper assessment, they might not have known for quite some time, because they didn't have any other symptoms. So I don't want to say that to scare you, but there are factors that we need to look at that could be physically blocking the sperm not getting to where they need to go. So your body's actually making the sperm, but they're just not getting in there. They're not clearing through the pipes the way we want them to. Let's rule that out, because again, all the supplements in the world aren't going to help your sperm bypass a physical blockage in the tube it is trying to travel in. Easy peasy, right? Let's not waste time, money, and hope. So you want to rule out the physical. You want to rule out root causes of low sperm count. And then what the heck do you want to do about it? Okay, so these are my big 4 tips. This is what I want every sperm producer to do, even if their counts are not that bad. Because again, anything to improve quality is a win, in my opinion. And so there are specific nutrition and lifestyle pieces that I think are uber important to really sink your teeth into before you actually start raiding the supplement shelves. And we talk about that with women all the time. We have to lay the foundational groundwork. That conversation doesn't end with sperm health either. Okay, so number 1 is adequate sleep. We actually have some interesting and pretty cool research studies in sleep and infertility in both men and women, but the male studies are a little bit stronger, I think, when it comes to actually helping sperm. And one study I'm thinking of in particular, they looked at a group of men who were in the infertile category, and most of them, they gathered a bunch of men who all slept less than, I think it was 7.5 hours a night. So 7.5 hours is not that bad, but if you're sleeping for 5 or 6 hours a night and you've done this your whole life, this is taking a toll on your hormones, okay? And your metabolic health and your sperm. They then had these men sleep for 8 hours a night or more for 3 weeks, and they increased their sperm count by 50%. How amazing is that? Like, what a really simple thing, just prioritizing your sleep. If you go to bed at midnight, can we start going to bed at 11? If you are up till 1, can we keep kind of like climbing that back to a nice respectable time. If you have to get up at like 6 o'clock in the morning for work or whatever, you need to be going to bed at night and prioritizing your sleep. And I know from personal experience, so my partner Tyler, he is a bit of a night owl. He's definitely changed his ways ever so slightly since over the last 11 years that we've been together. But he's still like, I can't fall asleep, and he'll be up late. And then we get up sometimes at like 6:30 because the kids are ready to start their day and he's uber tired. And like, well, you were probably up till midnight. Like 6 hours of sleep, quite simply, is just not enough for most people. It's especially not enough for people who are active, people who are busy, people who are stressed, people who want their brains to function well, people who want the motivation to work out. No, like you need 8 hours of sleep. You just do. If you are having trouble sleeping, this is a topic for another time. Right now, we're just going to talk about like you need adequate sleep. If you're not prioritizing your sleep, please do. If you're not going to bed at an appropriate time, my recommendation is to just slowly creep your bedtime back by 15 minutes. That way it won't feel, if you're used to going to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning and you're like, I'm going to go to bed at 10 and you get in bed at 10, you might lie there for a while. So your body might be like, what the heck are you doing? This is not when you go to bed. So if you creep your bedtime back slowly by 15 minutes, it's actually going to help your melatonin, your hormones adjust, do the things that needs to do to actually get you into a nice deep sleep. So you're going to start sleeping, okay? If you have low sperm count, you're going to start sleeping. The research actually supports this, which is really, really cool. The second one is you're going to also start strength training. So exercise is really important. We talk about it in the female sphere around just like generally moving your body. Yes, strength training and building muscle can also be really supportive to hormones, but I would also argue that 80% of women who are dealing with infertility are also likely dealing with some degree of burnout. And their degree of movement, their level of movement, their intensity of movement is probably a better way to say it. It needs to be a little bit different. We need to cycle sync our movements as women. Men cycle every 24 hours, so they don't have the same cyclical rhythm as women. They are making testosterone pretty consistently. Yes, it ebbs and flows through the day, but it ebbs and flows through those 24 hours, meaning men, in theory, could feel the same, do the same, live life the same, pretty much day to day. Whereas women, we are going to have weeks or days where life needs to be a little bit slower, where we need to give ourselves a bit more space, where our exercise intensity might need to be a little bit decreased. Men don't have that luxury, okay? You guys can go for the gold all the time. Thank you, testosterone. Here's the beauty about strength training. Building muscle increases your body's capacity to make testosterone. Testosterone is the driving force of spermatogenesis. It is how your body helps to make sperm. You need testosterone. Therefore, we see men who include 2 to 3 sessions of strength training in the week actually have improved sperm counts and higher rates of fertility. We can cycle this back to, yes, with the testosterone and hormones, it lowers the estrogen, it improves the testosterone, it helps with cortisol and stress management. It also helps with those metabolic health pieces in terms of cholesterol and blood sugar and weight management. There are multifactorial reasons why strength training is important. And if you are currently not moving your body, now is the time to start, okay? If you are a runner, so I get this question a lot, well, I run every day, is that good enough? You're moving your body, yes, I'm down with that. I also think you should add in some degree of strength training to your running routine, and it's only actually gonna help improve your running in the long run. You also should make sure you're you're including a day of stretching and recovery as per usual, again, so that we're not burning out your adrenals and over pushing your cortisol. The third one is we need to improve your metabolic health, okay? See how all of these are kind of tying together? So when I'm talking about metabolic health, I'm talking about weight management, I'm talking about blood sugar control, I'm talking about cholesterol. These things actually are modifiable risk factors for fertility. for both men and women. We know that if men have higher cholesterol, higher fasted blood sugar, if they are diabetic, if they are overweight, they tend to have lower sperm count and poor sperm quality. So yes, we're talking about count, but overall, these things are also going to help overall quality as well. So what does that look like? It looks like nutrition. It looks like making sure that you are eating enough, that you're getting enough protein, that you're getting enough healthy fats, that you're decreasing sugar, you're decreasing those trans fats, you're not eating a lot of packaged and processed foods. It looks like moving your body. So maybe you're like just getting into strength training. But another thing you can do, and you can do this with your partner to help balance blood sugar, is just a 15 to 20 minute walk after meals. Even if it's just lunch and dinner, those things alone, those tiny little changes that you can do. If you have a dog, they're going to absolutely love your newfound desire to balance your blood sugar, because you can take that lovely little dog out for multiple short walks a day and they're going to think they won the lottery. But the reality is you're winning the lottery because you're actually helping to improve your body's ability to manage its glucose. Okay. Another thing I want you to think about is that carbs aren't the devil. Carbs aren't bad. You can have carbs. We want you to have carbs, but let's not have what we call naked carbs. Okay. Let's not just have the bread. Let's always pair our carbs with a fat and a protein. It's going to help your body use that glucose better. It's going to slow down the metabolism of that sugar. It's going to keep your body from spiking your insulin and glucose in a way that can be really triggering to your overall blood sugar management. So we have a consistent theme here. The theme is lifestyle. It can quite literally be that simple, okay? Sleep, movement, nutrition. These are 3 out of our 4 foundational pillars in fertility confidence method. There's a reason for that. And it's not just for women, obviously, because we're talking about sperm here today. The last one is we can start looking at supportive nutrients, okay? So we do have some wonderful research in certain nutraceuticals to help improve sperm count. My hope is that you don't just skip steps 1 through 3 and jump to the supplements, because I truly believe that will never work for you. You cannot out supplement a garbage diet and a poor lifestyle. You just can't. You are wasting your money. You're wasting your money. We don't want to do that. So once you have this routine established, once you're starting to feel really good, you've got some new habits, then let's talk about supplements. Supplements like zinc and folate and vitamin E are general antioxidants. Some things like ashwagandha, if it's a testosterone issue or a stress issue, that can really help. We can look at ways to improve blood flow. There's so many things we can do, but the reason I'm not going to get really like down and dirty with the supplements on this episode is because no two people should be on the same protocol. It needs to be personalized, okay? I don't want you, again, to waste your time on things that might not actually be right for you. We need to tailor make that supplement protocol. So I want you to focus on 1, 2, and 3. You're going to sleep, you're going to strength train, you're going to work on your metabolic health through nutrition and walks or whatever that looks like for you. And then we're going to put you together a little personalized supplement plan to actually help improve your sperm count. Now, last thing here, because this is another question we get quite a bit, is when should I retest? My general recommendation is to wait about 3 months after a full plan so that you can give your body enough time to actually pump out some really fresh sperm. Men are always making sperm, but spermatogenesis takes about 72 days. It's kind of the similar conversation we have with egg quality. So give your body time, okay? 4 weeks of you swapping your French fries for a salad is not going to make a difference. Don't waste your energy retesting either too early or when you really haven't done anything specific, because guess what? You're gonna be disappointed. Let's avoid that. You get disappointed enough on this journey, okay? So 3 months, maybe a little bit longer. If you have to wait for that urology referral, that might be a good time for you to really start to do these things, because then they're going to retest you. So you'll automatically sort of have that in the rotation, and then you can go from there. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. If you need to listen to this again with your partner, please do take some notes, share that with them, and I'll see you in the next one.